important than an idea that exists only as an idea. Good morning, everyone. Today, at Right 2026, we celebrate these very ideas of Lord Buddha and the minds behind them. I'm Vaishvi Patel.
And I'm Rahul Narayanan. Welcome you to RIDE 2026 Research, Innovation, Design and Entrepreneurship at MIT World Peace University, a platform where curiosity meets creativity and where knowledge transforms into impactful action. This platform brings together individuals engaged in inquiry, creation, and application under a shared purpose of converting an understanding into outcomes of value.
RIDE is structured as a deliberate space for exchange. It places research, innovation, design, and entrepreneurship in conversation with one another so that ideas may be examined rigorously and directed towards practical relevance.
Today is day one of RIDE 2026. The focus rests on two interconnected pillars, research and innovation. These sessions will examine how systematic inquiry supplies the foundation for progress and how innovation translates that foundation into workable solutions.
The purpose of RIDE is not limited to discussion alone. It is designed to encourage careful examination of ideas, to value questions as much as answers, and to support the
This is
movement
the
from
fourth
observation
edition
to action.
for the students
Research
to get
supplies the
exposure
disciplined
for
understanding of
research,
systems
innovation,
and
design,
solutions.
synthesis.
Innovation builds upon that understanding by developing solutions. Design gives form to those solutions. Entrepreneurship carries them into sustainable practice.
The panels that will present perspectives from individuals whose work sits at the intersection of discovery and application. The sequence is then
World.
insight starts with careful observation and requires readiness to question existing frameworks. Through this process, we would come to understand systems more deeply, spot the gaps within them, and recognize possibilities that are not yet obvious. True insight is produced only by sustained attention combined with rigorous method.
Impact follows when the understanding is translated into deliberate action. It is the movement from knowledge to solution, from analysis to implementation. Impact tested against the practical constraints and directed towards measurable outcomes.
Understanding alone remains incomplete without application. Application without understanding risk determines directionless. Together, they form a clear and coherent path from inquiry to meaningful results.
Today's panels examine both ends of that path. First panel addresses research as the foundation of every significant innovation. Now I would like the technical team to play the RIDE 2025 recap.
This is the fourth edition of unique platform for the students to get exposure for research, innovation, design, entrepreneurship.
The entrepreneurial mindset is the next prediction how the new workspace would be. Whether you work for a startup or a corporation, you need to think like an entrepreneur, spotting opportunities, taking calculated risks, owning the outcomes.
Advanced or super specialization does not have much of a value in the era of ChatGPT and AI. In AI world, what you need is a range. You should be able to talk about a whole host of topics, talk about a whole host of dimensions, and not be very exclusive or being very, very specific. That's extremely critical for all of you.
But let me tell you, the world will change faster in the next 20 years. I don't think you will be able to foresee today how the world will change in the next 20, 25 years. With the amount of information that is getting shared around the world,
which obviously for me it's like a code for let's do it smart, let's do it well, let's do it innovative.
statements, 100 into 10 solutions. That will be a great achievement to celebrate, where you can really make it not only a program, not only academic, but truly meaningful, and you will be contributing to the ecosystem.
My dear friends, situation is growing grim, and it is only you people who can bring us hope, who can bring us a ray of hope, जिस पर हम लोगों को भी लगे कि हम जिनके लिए काम कर रहे हैं वो सही में इस देश का वर्तमान है.
To begin this auspicious occasion, we now proceed with the ceremonial lamp lighting. The lighting of the lamp symbolizes the removal of darkness and the spread of knowledge, wisdom and positivity. It marks the beginning of a meaningful and enlightened journey. I would request our guests to come up the stage for the lamp lighting session.
Can we get a huge round of applause? Can we get a huge round of applause? Let us now stand together in unity and pride as we honor our nation with the national song.
We request everyone to stand up for the national song. Before we move ahead, let us take a moment to reflect and pray for harmony and peace across the world. May the MIT World Peace Prayer inspire unity, compassion, and hope in all our hearts. Can we have the technical team to kindly play our MIT World Peace Prayer? Everyone raise in their seats for the prayer.
ॐ नमो दीयाद्या वेद प्रतिपाद्या जय जय स्वसंवेद्या आत्मरूपा देवातूति गणेशु सकलार्थमतिप्रकाशु म्हणे निवृत्तिदासु अवधारि बोधि गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि ईशावास्यमिदं सर्वं यत्किञ्च जगत्यां जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जीथाः मा बुध कश्चिद्धनम्। भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्। सर्वेऽपि सुखिनः सन्तु सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखमाप्नुयात्।
Research establishes the base of reliable understanding. It is the disciplined process through which questions are carefully framed, evidence is systematically gathered, and knowledge is progressively refined. Through rigorous inquiry, assumptions are tested, patterns are identified, and insights are grounded in method. Without this foundation, innovation risks becoming directionless, lacking both clarity of purpose and the durability required for lasting impact.
Can I welcome all the research panelists on the stage? Dr. Manoj Jadhav, Dr. Munava Divekar, Dr. Ms. Utkarsha Rajen Pandare, and Mr. Samit Mutha. Please give a huge round of applause. We also welcomed Ashwin Kushekar, Chair, and Vinod Shastri, Sir, to come on stage.
Dr. Vinod Shastri, sir, can we please have you on stage along with our guests?
We are truly honored to be joined by an exceptional panel of speakers whose work reflects excellence and innovation. We now request our Dr. Ashwin Kurchekar and Dr. Vinod Shastri to felicitate Dr. Manoj Jadhav, founder and CEO of Isha Therapeutics. Dr. Jadhav is a translational clinical pharmacologist with experience in academic research, pharmaceutical development, and regulatory strategy in both India and the United States. He has contributed to several drug development programs across different therapeutic areas. Before founding Isha Therapeutics, he served as a vice president of clinical development and business strategy. His work continues to focus on advancing early-stage clinical and translational programs that connect scientific research with practical applications in healthcare.
We would like to also call Dipali Javle ma'am on stage for felicitating our guests. We now request ma'am to felicitate Dr. Manwa. We now request the dignitaries to felicitate Ms. Utkarsh Rajapandre, co-founder and director of Indigena Solutions and PSR Sustainability Foundation. As a co-founder of a social enterprise focused on sustainability and community impact, her work centers on connecting available resources with on-ground needs, particularly in environmental sustainability and water-related initiatives. She brings a perspective shaped by translating research-informed approaches into practical and measured social and environmental outcomes. Can we have a huge round of applause, guys?
We now request our dignitaries to felicitate Dr. Munava Divekar, Senior Technical Officer, IISc Pune. Dr. Divekar, sir, has his research background in evolutionary biology, biostatistics, and psychological systems. She has contributed to scientific publications that examine causal relationships in biological processes and has been associated with science, education, and research support initiatives at the Institute. Her work brings together rigorous scientific inquiry and institutional frameworks that support advanced research and training of researchers.
We also have Mr. Samit Mutha sir along with us today, digital and AI strategist and former vice president and chief digital and innovation officer at RPG Group. Over nearly a decade at RPG, he led the creation of the group's digital function and innovation initiatives. This included capability, building programs and large-scale digital transformation efforts across businesses. His experience covers management consulting, digital strategy, artificial intelligence applications and organizational innovation, showing how research-informed and technology-driven approaches can shape institutional progress. Guiding the discussion are the session moderators, Atish Arun, a third-year student of the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, BTech EC AIML, and Isha Desai, also a third-year student of the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, BTech EC. They will structure the conversation, ensure balanced participation among the panelists, and maintain clear focus on the theme of the session. The topic for the panel discussion is Research, the foundation of every great innovation.
The discussion will look at how careful and systematic inquiry helps create reliable knowledge. It will also explore the connection between research and the innovation that follows from it, and the conditions that allow research findings to be turned into practical solutions. The panelists will share perspectives based on their experience in their respective fields of work.
We hand over the session to our moderators, Atish and Isha, and to the panelists.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is a pleasure to welcome you all to our panel discussion on research, the foundation of every great innovation. Research and innovation can take very different forms depending on the field, and that is exactly what makes today's discussion interesting. We are fortunate to have with us panelists who bring diverse experience across research, entrepreneurship, industry, and social impact.
All of our panelists in a different perspective from academic. Hello? Yeah. All of our panelists bring a different perspective from academic and healthcare research to consulting, innovation, entrepreneurship, and community-driven work. Through their experiences, we hope to understand how research is approached across different fields and how those ideas eventually translate into meaningful impact.
Hello.
Hello. So without further ado, let's begin with our panel discussion. So my first question is for Dr. Manoj Zadav, sir. Research can sometimes lead us to findings that completely change the way we understand a problem. From your own experience, has there been a research finding or insight that significantly changed the way you approach innovation?
Hello. So can you please repeat the question for me one more time?
So from your own experience, has there been a research finding or insight that significantly changed the way you approach innovation?
Yeah. Thank you. First of all, good morning to you all. Are you paying attention to us? See, we have come all the way from different corners of the country, and I have come from US. So I would request you to pay attention. Don't discuss among yourselves.
Good morning. Good morning. I feel that there are 10 people in the room. Good morning. Thank you. So we all appreciate the fact that you are here. We all also appreciate the fact that your teachers are probably also not aware that they also had to change their schedule and you guys have to sit. Some of you might here be willingly, some of you might not be here willingly. But the point is you have to sit, we have to do this discussion. Let's do this in a meaningful way so that we all can make the most of it. And that means that some of you will have to be quiet for some time, listen to us, And who knows, you might really find something useful in something that we are saying. It might inspire you, it might give you new ideas, and it might really benefit you. But for that, you need to listen. If you're not going to listen, that's okay too. You have your mobile phones with you. If we all just keep a little bit of silence, this will be more effective. Thank you so much.
Thank you for helping putting in perspective. So good morning all of you. Hope you are doing good. Let me confess before I answer your question. This is one of the most vibrating ecosystem I am witnessing. You know, I studied long ago, almost 30 years ago in a pharmacy school, but the way you as students have organized this event is remarkable. And I was just telling my co-panelist, we are 5 panelists and 15 people are taking our pictures. So that shows your keenness, enthusiasm and willingness to do something exceptionally well. So coming back to her question, let me tell you who I am so that then you start thinking why we are talking this morning. You know, I am a clinical pharmacologist by training. Originally, I am a pharmacist. I did my bachelor's, master's, PhD and postdoctoral fellowship. And now I have post-PhD almost 20 years of experience. So the question she asked me that, what have you seen change in the research paradigm shift, and if so, what and how it is impacting the drug development. So my perspective, if I see my days similar to you when I was studying, the research was not that accessible. The focus was only going to the lab, reading books and come back and do whatever is assigned by your teacher. But now the world have changed in last 3 decades. The artificial intelligence have taken a significant lead in improving or fast tracking the drug development processes. So the era has changed, a lot more to come in. However, you have to be very grounded by identifying what is right innovation or research idea which you are coming up with. It has to be able to contribute to the unmet medical need, and if it is not contributing to unmet medical need, you have to find out an alternative idea. And these ideas have to be nurtured for longer period of time. It cannot be a short-lived dream. It has to be a long journey with an ultimate aim to find an outcome or a meaningful product to be developed as you continue your journey of ideation. You guys are too young now to think about the end product, but the intent of this interaction is that you start thinking in that direction, that what is your idea which you think would contribute to the human health, and if so, how? Do you want to develop a drug, a biologic, a diagnostic? Depending on your area of interest and passion, you should embark on that journey. Take help of your seniors, teachers, mentors, and I strongly suggest read the papers and textbook first hand. Don't use your digital tools every time for deep understanding of core concepts of science, because without science you cannot innovate, you cannot move forward. And for that science to happen, you have to read extensively to the point. So to answer your question, yes, earlier the small molecules were the mainstream drug development interventions. In last 10 to 15 years, biologics have come up significantly, wherein cell and gene therapy are coming up. I know India is catching up with those innovations, but I believe as far as vaccines and biologics are concerned, they are rapidly being developed, and because of accessibility to digital tools, the things have accelerated significantly. So that's the change I have seen, and how we should continue embarking on that direction. So that's my brief response.
Thank you, sir. Very well said. And so one question for you. You said not to think about how much time it will take to implement that idea. So how do you feel like we should stay motivated throughout the process and not get disheartened during this?
Yeah, good question. See, motivation is dependent on your keen interest. If you have interest into achieving something or doing something, the motivation would remain for longer. Now to give a perspective from drug development, for a typical new chemical entity to be developed, it is a long journey, almost 10 to 12 years, and it needs around $2 billion. It's a mammoth task to develop a new chemical entity, an entirely new drug. It's a very long pathway, but what is more important, you should identify what is your target population for which you want to identify or use that intervention. What is your target disease? I'll give an example. When COVID hit, we had no idea about the disease itself. We knew only one thing, that it is impacting across all age groups, from pediatric to adult to the senior citizens. So once you identify the target disease, target population, then you identify what is the unmet medical need. In case of COVID-19, we had no drugs available, we had no interventions available, no vaccine available. Just imagine that situation. So in that context, what researchers across the world did, they quickly adapted to the science behind the infectious agent, which is virus in this case, and understood the pathophysiology of the disease, how it is impacting your respiratory system and other organs quickly in shortest period of 3 to 5 days. So, and that led to identification of some of the new drugs or interventions, including biologics. So it's a long process. You have to be patiently working with multiple stakeholders. It's not you alone or I alone can develop the drug. For that, we need experts from doing basic research, applied research, who are doing animal studies, and then the real bottleneck is clinical development of the drug. How the drug is impacting or behaving in healthy participants and the patients for which you are developing the drug. And it's a long process. So you have to conduct phase 1 clinical studies where you will give your drug to healthy participants. Phase 2 is where you will give your drug which you are developing to deceased patients, like say COVID-19. So that becomes your proof of concept. So once you have got in relevant observations or outcomes by your intervention, then you will go and do a registration or confirmatory clinical trials. So that's how you have to move in a sequentially interdependent way across the spectrum of drug development. The story doesn't end there. The next important milestone in a life cycle of a drug is you have to get the approval from the regulatory authority, like US FDA, Indian DCGI. You have to submit all this data to them and convince them scientifically that the intervention which you have developed is safe and efficacious. If it is not safe, you cannot give it to the patients. And if it is safe but it is not effective, it is not of use. So you have to have a balance of risk and benefit ratio so that the patient can get cured by that intervention, leading to improvement of his or her sign and symptom. So it's a long process but very exciting process. Why I say so? Because you are contributing to the human health. Human health is paramount, and you coming from different backgrounds and expertise, drug development needs experts across the spectrum. So that's how I believe you can expedite the drug development process with the cutting edge technologies and tools available, including artificial intelligence being made available to us. So that's how I would approach drug development.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Mr. Mutta, sir, my next question will be to you, sir. So over the last 2 decades, you moved from consulting to management, and now you're leading operations as an executive. So I wanted to ask you, looking back on your journey, can you share us an example or a story of, where you've led significant business, where you've brought about a change, or you've learned from a mistake, or a story where you benefited from learning from someone else? What can our students learn from your journey, sir?
Sure, thanks. So before I answer, just everyone here, can you put your hand on heart and raise a hand if you want to get into research. How many of you want to get into research? Genuine answer, okay? How many? Not more than 10, okay? Because we see research as a function, as a department, right? Research is a skill, it's not a function. It's not a department, it's a skill. If you don't have that skill, whether you get into business, entrepreneurship, management, you will struggle. So first get this very clear today as you walk out of this room, that research is not a back-end function or a lab or a department, it's a skill, okay? Now when you do the research, and I'll come back to the, I'm just reflecting on the journey to help you understand what research is. See, there are three things important in research, right? First is what you research, super excited, right? I can put a big audacious goal which is exciting. I want to solve the world hunger problem. Let's do the research, everybody's excited because it's a very shiny goal. The most difficult, so as I said, what is very exciting, how it's painful, okay? And the third most important, why, is missing. A lot of time people don't know why they are researching. They know what they are researching. They don't know how to do it. So how is extremely painful, because if you're talking about, if you're thinking research is sitting on a desk and collecting data, I'm sorry, AI has already taken that job, not yesterday, even 2-3 years back. So if you're talking about secondary research, it's gone. You don't need it, right? The primary research, which is human factor, which is going on the field, talking to people, not collecting data, understanding data, reading behind the data, is the human. So that part of the research, in the what, how and the why is completely missing. Start with why. What is reasonably easy, you can put some exciting goal, but most important part of the how is how are you conducting your research, which is what I said, research is a skill. Even all of you, if I give you one area and say open your ChatGPT, each one of you will get a different outcome because it's a skill to what prompt to write. Now, is it a research? Yes, it is a research. Everything, if I want to go and eat at 12 o'clock at lunch, I'm going to research a few options, right? So research is as embedded in our everyday life, which is fundamentally driven by your ability and a skill to understand the data, read behind the data, and basically analyze the data, right? Thanks. Directly.
So I got what you were saying, sir, but I just wanted to ask you, as you were talking about AI and LLMs and tools that we use, so traditional research has been replaced. It has completely lost its touch. People are just using chatbots or asking a simple prompt and people are getting their jobs done. But from a scientific, from an innovation point of view, this type of research doesn't exactly, it doesn't stand, right? You need a little bit more in-depth. So when you said, you know, human factors, talking to humans, could you talk a little bit more on that, like how exactly that makes a difference?
Okay, so let me see what happens is when you're doing a research, you're doing it to solve a problem, okay? You're basically trying to solve problems. Like doctor said that you're basically a human health, could be a larger umbrella. Now when you're solving a problem, the first thought comes is, let me see who else has solved this problem, right? I was in the morning coming in a car and the girl who was sitting with me, she was talking about a laundry problem. That, you know, people are missing their clothes. I never heard of it, maybe you guys are witnessing it. You give your clothes to the laundry and you miss it. It's a very simple problem. Somebody can come up with a solution. But the first thing that I asked her is, who else, which other university is solving this problem better? Now, that is a research, right? So it's very important on MIT, the number of people, etc., etc. But when I speak to the people here, I will get to that depth. So what I'm talking about, the secondary research comes from borrowing from your experiences. So there are 3 or 4 things that I live with. One is when you do this research, minus AI part of it, is what inspires you individually. That inspiration may come from, oh, you know what, I visited Singapore, I saw it there. So that's your inspiration. It's very important to learn from what you observe, what you see. That's first. The second is what you are good at, right? There was a doctor I was working with last year on their business idea. She was a doctor, right? So the entrepreneurship problem she was solving was for dentists. When you go to a dental treatment, there is an anxiety, right? Nobody wants to open the mouth and the doctor looking into it, it's painful, so there's an anxiety. So she was trying to solve that problem using AR/VR. So she was leaning on her expertise. So the second is what you are good at. The third thing is what can you borrow? Like a lot of time people say that, oh, if you're in a banking and if you're working for SBI, just namesake, what is ICICI doing or what is Kotak doing? Nobody looks at what airline is doing. And I'll give you a simple example. 20 years back, I did a consulting assignment in a bank, I don't want to name. The problem, which still exists in some of the bank, is you enter the bank, you get lost. You don't know what to do. You have to go somebody and ask saying, oh, you know what, I want to do the remittance, I want to do whatever, right? Now, how do you solve this problem? You cannot visit another bank to solve the problem. The question to ask is, in which industry you don't get lost? And to me, the answer was very simple. You cannot get lost on airport. Have you ever boarded a wrong flight? It will never happen. Now, why can't you borrow that from an airline and put it into a bank? It will solve the same problem. Why do you have somebody standing and answering 10 people in a queue where to go? It's a simple problem, everyday problem. They can borrow from airline industry and solve it. So that's a third thing, that borrow from an industry that you don't belong to. And these are the things that technology will not help you. These are your skills of observation, comparison, and analysis.
Thank you, sir. I really like the borrowing from other industry, the airport example you just gave. That was very, thank you, sir.
So my next question would be for Dr. Manva Devekar Joshi, ma'am. So both academia and industry play important roles in driving research and innovation. But when it comes to strengthening India's ecosystem, which do you think has more crucial role to play, academia or industry?
Thank you so much. It's difficult to say academia or industry, but what I would like to say is if there is more collaboration between academia and industry, that would definitely result into better solutions, even better identification of problems, and probably the research actually coming into use. Currently, so this is a phrase which has been overused in the past 4 or 5 years, that is academia-industry gap. What we need to think about, because we are in a premier institution or a university, why is this gap there and what to do about it? So the main problem comes from communication. I think industry also has a lot of problems which could be solved using academia or academic researchers, but they don't know exactly simple things like which research institute to go to, what kind of research is happening in which institute. Research institutes don't know which kind of industry would really be interested in our problems. So now universities as well as research institutes or industries have these specific positions where people come again to research this, that what are the gaps. They again think of the what and how and the why and create communication channels between the academia and the industry. But it's a big process, it's a long process. It is starting just now and so many industries as well as academic institutions are getting good at it. But there is definitely a gap, and we see this in the US where there is a stronger collaboration between the academia and the industry. So many industry funded projects are happening at universities. The amount of industry funded projects happening in Indian research is very less. Most of the research that happening institutions. So that is the gap that we need to be filling. But it's not an easy task, but communication is the first thing. Talking about the gap, thinking about the solutions, that is going to take it ahead. Thank you so much.
Can I add a point to
yes,
what
yes.
you said? I think she has identified very critically important point. Communication is critical. And another point she brought in that in US perspective, industry go to academia and give them funding for doing research. To give you an example, at Isha Therapeutics, although I am based out of New Jersey, I am collaborating with pharmacy schools in Mumbai. Why I am doing so? Because of highly talented skill sets is available. The mentorship and leadership there is willing to collaborate and follow international standards, and therefore that collaboration is possible. But for that, as she said, a communication, constructive dialogue and expressing the right intent is important. If that has been aligned between the parties, I think innovation can happen. But it's a long process and need funding. At the end, everything boils down to, do you have dollar amount to invest in paying salaries for the students or scholarships to the students and conducting a high quality research. So how I see this, in academic institutes, we have young talent available, mentored by right leadership, their teachers and mentors. And then if industry tell them exactly what you are looking for, then to achieve your intended goal is possible. In this process, two things happen. Industry get a good quality research work done at an affordable cost perspective, but at the same time we are training the next generation of scientists. A skill is being also developed. So it's a must needed system and situation in Indian context also. Thank you.
Hello. Yeah. Thank you, sir. I just wanted to. Yeah. So my next question would be for Ms. Utkarsha Rajapandre, ma'am. Ma'am, you've worked closely with social groups, and so I wanted to ask you, when you talk to different communities or when you go across different environments, what changes do you see? Like, for example, research means a lot of things to a lot of people. Like we just spoke about academia and industry. They mean two very different things. So going across these different groups, has working with certain people changed your understanding of what you mean by research or innovation, as how it correlates? What do you think on that, ma'am?
Okay, hi. Hi guys. So research, if I have to put it in a very simple term, anyone here gets to be a researcher because anyone who asks question becomes a researcher. Ask questions about, is it really helping me solve a problem? Is it really helping the community? So research starts from a very simple question. Same goes with the communities that I'm working with. For example, even when Dr. Manwa was talking about how industry and research should collaborate, but research should go beyond that as well, and it should reach the community also. For example, if I have to read any research paper, I don't have to sit for hours and ये क्या है समझ ही नहीं आ रहा है ना, because research tends, reason why so distracted for a research panel is that because we think that research यार काफी boring चीज है, it's something that we have to spend hours on it, but it's not. If it's something that you need for a Monday morning, कि हाँ why is water not available in particular city, it's a simple information that you can get from a 15-second reel or a 50 pages research paper. So I feel research needs to be translated in a way where youngsters can also access it, and eventually it does not just draw a very thick line between innovators, researchers and community. It should be all a collaborative effort.
So no, I just wanted, yeah, so I wanted to ask more on that. So when you said, like you said, it depends on the curiosity, right? Depends on how much a person wants to know on a certain topic, whether they get it from a reel or a 50-page research paper essay. Like me, for example, every time I've tried to read a research paper, within 3-4 pages, I'm just like tired and fed up. So even first, of course, curiosity is one thing, but how does one, actually further their knowledge on a certain topic? Because a research paper, like we said, is really long, or it takes a lot of time or energy to understand. So like, how does one actually like improve that, I guess you could say, the concentration or the curiosity more to just be okay with reading stuff like this?
I don't think everyone needs to have curiosity for the same things, right? So I might be interested in water, I would love to read or know about water. Somebody wants to start something up, they would probably love to read or listen more about say entrepreneurship. So I think research does not have to just be about curiosity. You can't be curious and just dive into each topic. You can be curious and dive into topics that are relevant to you. For example, while you guys were probably choosing a university of your choice, Didn't you go through tons of information on which college is good, what is their probably package and all of those things? It's a form of research as well. So I don't think it's just about curiosity or asking questions. It's about what is relevant to you, relevant to the problem. And especially in entrepreneurship, I think for me, when I started, I am an engineer. Research से मेरा कोई नाता नहीं है. After engineering, I started my company. I did not know कि हाँ मुझे ये सब पढ़ना पड़ेगा. But it just happened because I started to love what I was doing. And it just kept on answering more questions because I was, you know, attached to my solution. कि नहीं ये कर देंगे, it is the perfect solution to whatever is happening. Then once I started to research it, I just realized that research is something that comes along the way and it just enhances your ability to see the solution beyond your assumptions.
Just one last question. So you had spoken about, like you just said, solutions, and you know you like to find solutions and stuff. So there must have been times where the solution you thought of didn't actually work out the way intended, or maybe, so at what point do you draw the line between working for a new solution or actually saying, okay, you know what, maybe this just isn't the right aspect or the right question of the right problem to solve. So what is that line? How do you differentiate between that?
Okay, I'll just give a small example. We were working for a community in a very remote location in India, in Maharashtra, east of Maharashtra, you know, the tribal regions of Maharashtra. So we were working there and we realized that these women do not have washrooms. We are working on a Swachha Bharat Abhiyan kind of setup. And solution kya tha? Washrooms de do. For them it was like that's the reality of their life. The whole day farms, family, all of that. But the only hour that they get was during the washroom period. And for them coming together was more important. So then we had to build circular washrooms ताकि they can continue with their gappe and all of that. So that's how I think solutions come into picture. You keep revolving around what is working out best for a particular problem once you start to analyze the need for it and why and where it is coming from. So I think that's the entire scope of it.
Thank you so much, ma'am. For all of our panelists now, I have a question, and it's particularly more related to the students over here. So for young researchers who hope to see their work eventually translate into real-world innovation or success, what advice could you give them to get them started on their research journeys? Sorry? Oh yeah, okay. So for the students over here, for people that want to pursue research as a whole or research as a career, what advice could you give them to get them started on their journey? What hurdles should they avoid? What blockages, what bottlenecks should they be wary of? Anything that could help them on their way over here?
Can I take this? I'll just have a couple of things. So I come from, in this panel, I think I come from the traditional research background. As in, I did my BSc, then MSc, then PhD. That is our image, that research happens like this. You know, you have to do a BA, BSc, MSc, and then PhD, you have to clear NET and all of that. What I would suggest is, if you think you want to do this, try doing it for some time first before committing to it. And that goes for anything, by the way. Right now, you are part of a generation where trying things out is allowed. You know, it's the norm even. So try things out. See if this kind of setup, that asking questions, then thinking about how to solve them, collecting data, doing experiments, collecting evidence to see whether it supports your question or not, and then writing about it. All of this is part of the classical research that we talk about. Try it out before you commit to it. See if you are good at it. See if you are comfortable with all of these steps, or you simply don't like it. If you don't think you like it, don't do it. So trying out things that you might want to pursue for a longer term is very important before you can say that, yes, I want to do this or I can't do this. The way to do this is internships. Summer internships at research institutes, summer internships in industry with a focus on research. So that should be the first step that you should think of if you are thinking of embarking on a research career. Yeah.
can I add something?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
See, you all are very young students as we speak, right? My most fundamental advice to you is, first of all, learn as a part of your curriculum so rigorously, so intensely that your fundamentals should be so clear cut. Without having basic fundamental knowledge of your discipline, say be it pharmacy, engineering or computer science, you cannot even create any question in your mind. Unless you learn fundamental things, you cannot think. And we are talking about research, innovation. It's a long pathway and long journey. So the most fundamental, do good reading of and understand the fundamentals. Once you have understood, then you will become curious after understanding that. What if I can do this? What if, then the question comes. Now to answer that question, you will have to read further, understand, talk to stakeholders, your mentors, your interdisciplinary experts from different divisions. And then only you will, it's an ecosystem or it's a process you have to go through it to become a researcher. So researcher is not born out of a single day or a month or a year. It's a long journey you have to embark on, but with a mission, and that mission has to be supported by your passion. And passion comes from your ideation. Ideation comes from where? If you have read or understood your subject of interest clearly. Otherwise, this research would never come. It would not happen. Then you will become a follower. You would not become an innovator. There are two types of people. One who follows. Somebody has innovated, you just follow it. But if you want to become an innovator, you have to put in a lot of energy, resources and intent to become different than the others. So that's my recommendation to all the students here.
Can I
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
When I saw this ride, research, innovation, design, entrepreneurship, I think research is a very important part of any journey. You don't necessarily have to be a researcher if you're doing research, right? You start off with research, you innovate something, you pilot it off. If it's working out, well and good. But you know what? A successful enterprise and research stage, there is one thing that I call valley of death. Valley of death, because every time you do research, you've got funding for it, maybe from governmental organizations or not-for-profits or even industries. And we've got funding for the innovation. But what about the piloting part? We don't have enough funding for piloting, learning from it and retesting our hypothesis. So I think research should be a long-term journey, right? Embedded right through innovation, design, as well as entrepreneurship. It should not stop just as the first step, but rather be a lifetime process, I would say.
Just a couple of quick thoughts. See, to me, I see research more from a building businesses or industry on a corporate lens. Now, there are two things when we do research. One is, and there's a very famous saying that when we start a research, you don't rise to the level of the problem, you fall to the level of solution, okay? Because problems are always aspirational, but when you do the solutioning part of it, there you actually bring the problem either down or raise it. So the solution drives the rise of problem or a fall of a problem. Now, when you do a research, the most important skill is your ability to expand, right? You may start a research at a very small level. Let's say go back to a doctor's example that I gave you. She wanted to build a business for the AR, VR headset for the patients, the dentist patient, right? From there, we expanded that to what's in it for the colleges, what's in it for the patients, the doctors, the clinics, and the solution became the actually user-generated content platform, kind of a Netflix for doctor as a community. But if you only would have researched saying that for a dentist patient sitting in that chair, then she would have come up with possibly an AR, VR headset running some entertainment, which is very easy to copy. She can lose the business overnight, somebody bring the headset with a content uploaded. But if you create an user-generated content from multiple stakeholders, it becomes a lock-in. So your ability to expand through the research is most important. It's not about what you are researching, how deep you go, which is important. As you go deep, it will open multiple threads. Are you looking at those threads and expanding is the biggest skill. If you can expand, then it's the famous saying is that, are you selling the cake or are you selling the party? If you cannot see the party, you will keep focusing on the cake. So that's the biggest skill to me.
Thank you, everyone. You all really put things into perspective. So, with that, we conclude our discussion session. Thank you all our panelists for sharing your valuable insights and experience with us. Through today's discussion, we explored different aspects of research, from collaboration and innovation to the challenges involved in creating real-world impact. One key takeaway is that research is not just about finding answers, but also asking the right questions and using that knowledge to create meaningful change.
Absolutely. We also saw how research is a continuous process of learning, understanding, experimenting, failing, and turning ideas into practical solutions. I would like to sincerely thank all of our panelists for sharing their experiences and perspectives. We'd also like to open the floor to the audience if anybody has any questions for the panelists. Anybody have any questions for our panel members?
Hello, check. So hello everyone on the panelists. I'm Shashank Vermuthu. I'm a second year cybersecurity student. So I wanted to ask a question specifically for Mr. Swami Mutta. So you spoke about research and it really intrigued me. I always wanted to write my own research paper and I've been writing it for a while. So what you told was how the traditional method, can you hear me? Is it now?
Hold the mic properly.
Alright, can you hear me?
Question.
Alright, my bad. So my question is for Mr. Swami Muthu. So when you spoke about research paper, what you basically told is how most of the traditional methods of writing research paper has gone to AI. And as a second year student, I really want to write my own research paper. But as you told, we cannot do it because already AI has already done that. And you told the best way how we can do that is by human interaction and speaking to people and getting more interactive with people. So I just wanted to ask, as a second year student, it's not possible for me to do that right now. So how would you advise me to do that specific thing? And secondly, what would be something I should be more focused about, or the methods in which I should do a research paper? Specifically, do you have any advice on that? Could you not?
Okay. Yeah. So, firstly, what was the name of the panelist that you are asking the question to?
Mr. Swami Muthu, but
there is no Swami. Firstly, there is no Swami Muthu in this panel. So just get that correct. I think, no, that's important, right?
Okay,
so,
my bad.
Do you want to ask Samip the question?
Samip, my bad.
Yes.
I read it wrong.
Then Samip do you want to take the question? Okay. So, Sir is taking the question. Yeah.
Sorry. Irrespective of Swami or Muthu or whatever, I will answer your question.
Yep.
See, let me put it this way. Although I couldn't hear you clearly, my response to not only you, to everybody, if you want to do research or you want to write a research paper, first of all, I am going to basics. Have you understood the topic which you want to work on? And second, have you conducted that research and documented it while doing it? Because research methodology, when you write a research paper, you need to write introduction. In that you will write why this research was conducted. Now to answer that why, you have to justify what was the scientific need to conduct that research and what is the existing or prior knowledge available. You should be able to answer that. That is why. Now once you have identified why you have to do that research, the next step is how. how you will conduct that research to answer that question. And that is how you conducted that research would go into your method section. And then after conducting your research experiment, the next question means you got a data. So what does that mean? Right? You thought why you have to do, now you did it, how you have to do it. Now the question is, what does that data mean? You will interpret that results and then what? So you have got an the next section goes to your discussion. So your observation relate to what? Are they better than the previous interventions or observations? Or are they in alignment with whatever is already known by others? Or it is extremely new or innovative observations you have made? So that's the journey you have to walk through. So I will repeat for your ease. First, define why you want to do it. Then you perform it. And then how you perform it, go into your methods section. Means you collected the data, you did experiment 1, 2, 3, so forth and so on. Detailed procedure you employed in conducting that research. And then the data which you have generated out of that research, you have to interpret it. Means understand it. You added X, Y, Z, and then what does that mean? And the last would be, what does that imply? So you have to think through the whole process while you are preparing or working on a research paper. And everything boils down to fundamentals. You cannot ask right question unless you have right knowledge. So these are interdependent processes to have a good publication coming out of your research work. So does that help you?
Yes, very much. And I just wanted to ask one more thing. I have written my own research paper, but obviously it doesn't, how do I say it, like follow the actual methods of how you professionally write a research paper. So if I wanted to use a reference of how to actually understand how to write a research paper, could you give me advice on that?
Can I take, yeah. So,
yeah.
Was this part of your curriculum or was this something that you did because you wanted to?
It's my passion. I want to
It's
do
your passion. So what I would suggest is identify a few experts or mentor in the same field and show them your work. So they will be able to guide you whether whatever you, as in about the quality and what else needs to be done if it has to be done. So identify experts or mentors in the same field and go and reach them out, mail them your paper, talk to them, and they can help you take this ahead. So what is the field that you have written your paper in?
Marine biology.
Marine biology. Yeah. Okay. Start with your own biotech department or biology department. They will be able to guide who you should approach. So having mentors also always helps. So identify experts or mentors in your field and reach out to them, show them your work, talk to them how you did this, and then they will be able to help you to take this ahead.
Yeah. Just to add on to what she said, what you can also do, follow what she said, but at the same time I would want you to read one of the highest impacted journal in your area of expertise. If you know, or if you read, say, Lancet, in our field, Lancet is the pinnacle of the scientific publication journal. Find out which is the most impacted journal in your marine biology field. Read that, understand that, how they write, why they write, and the way they convey the message. Once you read that, then from those research papers, you automatically will start getting some pointers or ideation that how you can implement in Indian context. And then, as madam said, you start interacting with your mentors, seniors, and people who have already published. And see, is it really feasible? Because sometimes it's a wishful thinking. I want to go on Mars, Elon Musk says. That's wishful thinking supported by resources and ambition. But in real life, you identify, can you really be able to do or perform that research? You know, we have to be realistic at times when we want to do many things. Okay, thank you. I hope this helps.
Yep, thank you.
So I think you also had a question about how should we use AI in research or something of that sort?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we have villainized AI a lot, but it might be controversial to say, but I think when internet came first, maybe 10, 12 years back, we were it was new for us, but still it helped us grow. Same is with AI. I think if you're doing a research, don't villainize it. Use it because technology is there to be used. Just ensure that the data that you're picking up from the AI is validated from the original text, because eventually it is also learning from somewhere, right? So ensure that all of your data that you're picking up is not just copy pasted, plagiarized in any way, but rather validated from the original findings. AI has made our life easier. Why do you want to stick to the traditional methods and make it difficult? Just go with the flow of technology.
Thank you.
Hello, sir. Am I audible? I'm Arish from SY BBA Global Business. So my question for you is, what is the biggest challenge young entrepreneurs face today, and how can the students overcome it accordingly?
Can you repeat the question?
What is the biggest challenge that younger entrepreneurs face today, and how can the students overcome it accordingly?
Very good question. So, first of all, I want to congratulate you all. I really want all of you to become successful scientists, innovator, and then entrepreneur. The challenge which I feel, or you should be more realistic about, everything which I have been telling, I am repeating it. Unless you don't know your subject or area of expertise, you cannot become a successful entrepreneur. You cannot find a solution which is long lasting, robust, and it lasts in the market for longer period of time. So, first of all, you should know your subject so well, so detailed that nobody can fool you, or nobody should be able to take you on ride so easily. So, and for that you must be expert, or have thorough understanding of your area of expertise. And the challenges is, sometimes we are too ambitious. I want to do a multi-billion dollar company. It's not easy. Let us be realistic. So it's an incremental innovation, an incremental progress. If it happens, it will last for longer. If something happens, suddenly it will fall equally in the same faster way. So my recommendation, be patient. Don't be in a rush to become a millionaire, because most of the time young generation mindset, I want to become millionaire in 3 years. Hold on guys, you will become, but for that you invest your time, energy, resources and dedication, and do not get impacted by the failures, because failure is the game of industry or success. If you get impacted by failures, you cannot sustain for longer time. Because if you could understand, every failure is a learning to improve your skill sets, modify your strategy, and be proactive to achieve your bigger goal. Drug development or entrepreneurship is not a linear path. It's a zigzag, circle, again straight, and it's a random motion, but with a mission. It's a random motion with a mission. Your mission, you know what exactly you want to achieve. So to conclude, you have to be patient, perseverance, realistic, and knowledge is key to become successful. So that's my response to you.
Manoj, I'll just add one small thing, if you don't. So I think solve problem or achieve. Second is your value system.
Yeah.
Lot of time, focus is easy. Values, people don't kind of give that much. So if you have your focus clear that, okay, let's say for example, I'll give an example. When I studied in US, I did my PG. I was very clear I wanted to get into consulting. Okay, I left my job in a fragrance company selling fragrances, came back to India, joined one of the top consulting firms. Okay, so if you know what you want to achieve, you will be able to say no. Otherwise, you will not be able to say no, you will get stuck. I'm not saying it is bad for people who stayed back. It is bad for you if you stay for a reason that doesn't resonate with what you want to be. So that will come from within. I cannot tell you what is right for you, but you need to define and then be focused so you can say no.
Basically, no to unnecessary distractions, you mean to say?
There's a good word I have. It's called positive digression.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have a shiny thing, you get excited, attracted. It is positive, but it is digression. If you can identify a positive digression and avoid it, which is most difficult, then you will get what you want. But it's difficult, trust me, it's not easy.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. We'll be ending the Q&A session. Thank you everyone for being here, and thank you all the panelists for engaging in this session. Let's have a huge round of applause for the panelists.
Before we conclude this session, we would like to capture this moment. May I request all our panelists, moderators and guests on stage to please gather at the center for the group photograph.
Let's give our guests another well-deserved round of applause as we capture this special moment. Now, I request our technical and media team to play Life Transformation Center 2025 recap film. Now, I request our technical and media team to play Life Transformation Center 2025 recap film.
Shantanu.
Can we please play the Life Transformation Center 2025 recap film? Everyone kindly maintain silence.
Today's youth lives in a strange paradox, surrounded by consumerism, constant comparison, and pressure of social media. They appear confident and successful on the outside, but inside, many feel exhausted, confused, and often alone. In the pursuit of a good job, a perfect image, and visible success, they keep running. Yet in this race, the mind weakens, self-belief begins to shake, and the deeper meaning of life slowly fades away. Without even realizing it, many young people find themselves trapped in anxiety, stress, and emotional fatigue simply because they are never given the space to pause, to turn inward, and to truly understand themselves. It was to heal this inner fracture, to bridge this growing distance, and to reconnect young minds with their true selves, that Dr. Rahul V. Karan envisioned the Life Transformation Center, LTC. This vision is deeply inspired by the life values of his father, Professor Dr. Vishwanath Karan, and his mother, late Urmila Tai Karan, where education is not merely about building a career, but about shaping character, balance, and human sensitivity. At LTC, 5 carefully designed experiences work together to bring about inner transformation. Time spent with nature and the soil teaches that life is not about haste, but about patience and growing. Sports and fitness reconnect young minds with the energy they had forgotten. Through teamwork and leadership, students move beyond ego and discover the true strength of collaboration. True patriotism reconnects them with their nation, their roots, and their identity. And spirituality introduces them to inner stillness, a rare and powerful gift in today's restless world. As these experiences unfold, quiet transformation begins. Inner conflicts start to settle, the noise within grows softer, thoughts become deeper and more conscious. Students understand themselves, not just from the outside, but from within.
घर पे सब कुछ बेहद आसानी से मिल जाता था, यहाँ पे सब कुछ खुद करना है, तो वो सारे टीचिंग्स के लिए काफ़ी थैंकफुल हूँ मैं, हमें यहाँ पे लाया और ये मौका दिया कि हम सब कुछ नया एक्सपीरियंस कर सकें।
हम लोग हमारे खुद के रूम्स ही डेली बेसिस पे साफ़ कर रहे थे, वॉशरूम साफ़ कर रहे थे, एंड दैट क्रिएट्स अ पॉजिटिव इम्पैक्ट ऑन आवर सराउंडिंग्स एज वेल एज ऑन आवर माइंडसेट.
And when the journey comes to an end, there is a new light on their faces, a glow that comes from inner clarity. They no longer look only for a career, they seek direction.
When I did agriculture, I went to the fields and I saw what farmers go through every day just to make grains to our plate.
Somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known, and that is the power of research, transforming uncertainty into knowledge and ideas into insight.
Can the audience please maintain silence? Please maintain it. Hello. That brings us to the end of an engaging and insightful research panel discussion. The perspectives shared today have reinforced the critical role that research plays as the foundation of knowledge, innovation, and sustainable progress. Our esteemed panelists have highlighted of inquiry, analytical thinking, and a rigorous approach to problem solving and addressing real-world challenges.
Their valuable insights remind us that research is not merely an academic pursuit, but a driving force that shapes ideas into impactful outcomes. As we reflect on this discussion, let us carry forward a spirit of curiosity, discipline, and continuous learning. I would like to sincerely thank our distinguished panelists for their time, expertise, and thought-provoking contributions.
Research helps us understand problems clearly and carefully, and also shows us the possibilities that lie within them. It enables us to ask the right questions and build knowledge that we can rely on. Innovation then takes this understanding forward by turning insight into practical solutions that can be used in real situations, while research focuses on discovering and defining what needs attention. Innovation works on creating answers that can be tested, improved, and applied in practice.
We now move forward to our second pillar of Day 1, that is innovation. While research helps us understand problems and uncover possibilities, innovation is what takes that understanding forward. The panel that follows will examine why innovation matters beyond the generation of ideas and what is truly required for concepts to move from thought into practical, workable solutions.
We now invite the innovation panelists Mrs. Devyani Pawar, founder and CEO of DP House of Media and Devra Energy and Infra. Ms. Sri Gulavami, co-founder and CEO of NR Solution. Mr. Srijit Mohan, CTO Trend Gully. Mr. Dhiraj Palekar, founder Sora. Dr. Deepak Prashar, co-winner, and Vinod Shastri, con-winner. And also Dr. Balaji Patil, Program Director of Computer Science and Engineering.
Can we have a warm welcome for them, everyone?
We now request our dignitaries to felicitate Ms. Devyani Pawar of DP House of Media and Devra Energy and Infra. A serial entrepreneur based in Pune, she has built a design-led marketing and strategy firm that has delivered over 500 projects across India, the United Kingdom and Europe. Alongside this, she leads work in energy and infrastructure through Devara with a focus on clean mobility, energy storage and practical execution across sectors. Company reflects a consistent focus on turning creative and strategic ideas into operational outcomes.
Can we please have ma'am on stage? We now request our dignitaries to felicitate Ms. Rupashri Gulavani, co-founder and CEO of NR Solution Incorporated. She co-founded the Pune-based software company and has led its growth with a strong focus on client-centric technology solutions. With experience spanning software development, project leadership, client engagement and organizational processes, her work centers on translating business needs into and scalable digital solutions that support long-term operational effectiveness.
We now request our dignitaries to felicitate Mr. Srijit Mohan, Chief Technology Officer at Trend Gully. As a part of leadership team of this AI-powered platform, he oversees the technology that enables fashion brands and retailers to identify emerging trends and accelerate design to market process. His expertise lies in building and refining technology systems that support data-driven innovation in a fast-moving industry where continuous adaptation is essential.
Everyone kindly maintain the decorum. We now request our dignitaries to felicitate Mr. Dhiraj Palekar, founder of Sorted. He is a serial entrepreneur and growth strategist focused on redefining international banking for students and professionals moving abroad. Through his fintech venture, he is building technology-driven solutions that simplify complex financial processes and enable seamless global experiences. His work involves building and leading the organization with a focus on converting concepts into structured operational systems and navigating the practical considerations that arise when moving from idea to implementation. The discussion will be moderated by Joanne Genoy, third year BTech ECE AI/ML Department of Electronics and Electrical Engineering, Secretary of EEE SIG Smart City Cell, and S. Balamurugan, third year BTech ECE Department of Electronics and Electrical Engineering. They will guide the exchange, maintain focus on the theme and ensure that each perspective is clearly articulated and connected to the central questions of the session.
Can the audience please maintain the decorum and maintain silence as we continue?
The topic for this panel is Beyond Ideas, Why Innovation Matters.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. I, S. Balamurugan, along with my co-moderator Joanne Genoy, welcome you all to today's panel, Beyond Ideas, Why Innovation Matters. We often celebrate the big idea moment, the flash of inspiration. But the truth, every and operator on this stage knows is that an idea is just a starting point. What actually matters is what happens after. The execution, the iteration, the failures, and the system that turn a concept into something that creates real value.
Today, we are delighted to have 4 leaders who've each taken innovation beyond the idea stage in very different domains: media, technology solutions, digital trends, and organized systems. Thank you all for joining us today. Now, let's jump right into the discussion. To start off, my first question is addressed to Ms. Devyani ma'am. Clean energy and infrastructure solutions often involve technically complex ideas. However, their success ultimately depends on the adoption of people, businesses, and communities. So, how exactly can entrepreneurs bridge the gap between developing a technical strong solution and building trust, communication, and market understanding required to make the innovation come to scale?
It's a very good question. Thank you for asking. What is your age, if I may ask? You're very young.
I'm 20.
That's amazing. Okay. So, I work at the intersection of energy and providing EV charging station infra. Energy is going to be a next big thing. If you like Nikhil Kamat's podcast, he keeps talking about how solar energy and EV charging station is going to be the next big thing. But what nobody talks about is the bottleneck that each and every operator faces when you enter this particular field. It's all about how you convince the operators, how you convince the consumers, and how you build a trustable environment for those EV charging stations to be deployed across different states. For me, when I was working with Devira Energy, EV charging station is under a compulsion of 80% in the GR. However, in India, at the moment, it's still looked upon as an amenity by many real estate giants. So the moment we start looking at it as an essential, if you've noticed that how our diesel and petrol prices went up and everyone was looking at Ola or all these other options, that's really looked at how we want to adapt to an EV or a EV car or something, but nobody looks at the problem that consumer faces. It's about the education that EV charging stations and everything can be easily available at your disposal, and that is something that has to be looked upon by policymakers, the real estate owners, and the consumers all together. So I think if you want to really get into this, you start with educating your consumers even more.
Energy, yes ma'am. Yes, ma'am. The next question is for Rupashri ma'am. Ma'am, from your experience at NR Solutions, how exactly AI and digital transformation is reshaping the innovation across the industries you have seen?
So this is one of the very hot topic of discussion nowadays, that how AI is affecting our lives. So when we started this panel, you mentioned that ideas are everywhere. So currently ideas are so cheap. Now building on those ideas has become cheaper as well. So what AI has not changed is the decision on what you are going to build next, what problem you are going to solve, and the clarity behind solving that problem or building the solution. What it has made easier is, earlier you had to spend lot of time in order to get to the product market fit level. So as of now, you can very quickly go and test your product in the market, because the building has become easier as well as cheaper, and entire market is your lab now. So it has given lot of opportunities for everyone to try out their ideas and scale them.
That question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I specifically see AI as an enabler, right, an accelerator for innovation. So AI or a technology by itself is not innovation, I would say. So if you look at history, major technological shifts such as steam engine or electricity or even smartphone. So I mean, as a technology itself, they were not creating much impact on the society or human lives as all. But somebody figured way, somebody came up with using these technologies to make life better, right? That is when innovation happened. So it is not just the technology alone which is innovation. So it is how you use technology to make life better, to solve problems, that is important. Right. And today, like many organizations come to me and ask this question, like how can we add AI to our industry or where we are working? But I would say the right question would be, what problems can I solve? What existing problems can I solve with AI? Right. There are problems already on the industry, and now we have the AI technology there. How can I, or like what problems can I solve with that is the right question. If you start with a technology, you will build a product which is interesting. But my perspective is that you should start with a problem and use technology to find a solution for that problem. Right? And there is a popular saying these days that AI is going to replace people, AI is going to take a lot of jobs. But the right sentence or the right wording would be that AI is not going to replace people. Like AI is going to enhance people. And those people who are enhanced with AI is going to disrupt the industries, for sure.
Thank you, sir.
Moving on to Mr. Srijit, sir, I would like to ask you, what's a common myth about innovation or AI in particular that you'd like to crack for aspiring entrepreneurs and young technologists?
Yeah, interesting question. Good that you asked that. I would say there's a common myth that you need a lot of investments, you need like genius inventors to basically do innovation, right? That is something, a very big myth out there. You need to realize real problems in the industries and come up with solutions for that, right? I would say for innovation, I'll put 3 filters. So first is the innovation should be a solution for a problem, first of all. Secondly, people should be ready to take it up, like people should be going for that. And thirdly, it should be sustainably scalable. So once you have these 3 aspects for an innovation, it is workable, right? And many interesting ideas are, like they are exciting, but they might not be an innovation after all. So if you, answer these 3 questions, then you might come up with the right innovation. You will identify a better innovation.
Okay. Sir, my next question is to Dheeraj, sir. Sir, you have built Sorted from ground up. Sir, so what is, in your journey, what is that relationship between innovation and the failures you have faced in your journey throughout?
Yeah. First of all, it's great to see you all here interested in research and innovation. Before I start, I would like to ask a simple question to everyone here. How many of you think like you have innovative ideas that gonna be a successful startup like after your college? Okay, there are only a couple of people I see. Okay, there are a few more at the back. Yeah, it's great. So failure, like coming back to your question,
yes, sir.
Failure I would say is just a part of innovation, because failure, like the faster you fail, the faster you can innovate. That's what I believe. When I started Sorted around like 2017, 7-8 years back, I was really new to the industry, right? So mainly Sorted, like I'll explain what Sorted does. Sorted works in D2C e-commerce. And when I started, like we were new, e-commerce was new. There were like many things that we had to learn from ground up, and we made huge mistakes. Giving you at what scale we work, at last year, like we did a revenue of, like for the D2C brands that we manage, we did a revenue of 425 millions, right? And our team, most of our team is working from here in Pune. We manage brands that are global. The brands that are owned by celebrities, as well as, I would say like really large scale or top D2C brands in US. Brands, if I had to name, I would say owned by Hailey Bieber, MS Dhoni. So those kind of brands, like it's our team that manages at the back end. When we started, as I said, we were new. Like we did like many mistakes, and failure, like I would say, just like the more willing, like you are willing to fail faster, the more you are like better at the innovating stuff. Even like I would like to give an example of Chandrayaan, right? So Chandrayaan 2, like the soft landing at like South Pole was like a failure. But ISRO thankfully didn't give up. Like Chandrayaan 3 was a huge success. So failure, I would say, is just a part of it. Embrace it, and it would help you innovate faster and like make progress.
Right. I'd like to add a point there. So I would say failure is more like data to you, right? When you do a startup, failure is like you start with a lot of uncertainties, and failure tells you, okay, these variables are sorted. You don't have to worry about that. So it is more like data to me, insights to me, how to make your startup into a success as soon as possible. Yeah.
I would like to share a story here. So there was a company who were building a video game, and they tried to launch it. The game was in market for 3 years, and it did not have many of the players or adoption for their video game. So they closed the video game, they took it down, but while developing the video game, they developed a chat application because Steam was distributed. And they used to use that chat application to communicate with their team members, communicate with each other. And after closing the company, that chat application they launched and it became Slack. So Slack is the tool which is so widely used in every corporate or enterprises or even startups, and that becomes their success story. Later they sold the company to $27 billion. So the failure was of the video game, but idea was still there, which was waiting for a right audience.
That was insightful indeed. I mean, when we fail, only then we can learn from our mistakes and build to know better. Moving on, now my next question is for Rupashri ma'am. You are leading a team through product engineering and modernization work. So how do you build a culture of innovation across that team rather than depending on, isolated bursts of creativity from people?
So culture, we speak a lot about culture, building culture, but generally I believe is culture comes from the very small practices we build upon. So we have a couple of practices which we have been following for last 10 years. Some of them I will share here. So we let team members explore stuff. So team members did not take anyone's permission to try out something new, and we are not punishing on the failures. So these becomes too heavy terms when I say punishing, but generally it is how you react if someone's idea is not successful. Just when someone is sharing and you are not reacting or you are reacting very negatively, the person gets demotivated, and the other people who are watching that interaction, they are scared to try anything new. So that is one of the biggest learning which we had for our own journey while building the company. We have open door policy, so there are no hierarchies in terms of communication. Also, doing all these best practices, we also ask our team members to write down on what they are going to try. Because when you write down, you know what you are going to do, what are you going to achieve at the end of it, and what if it does not succeed. So these are couple of practices which we follow day in, day out.
Thank you, ma'am. That was one knowledgeable thing. My next question is to Ms. Devyani, ma'am. Ma'am, you have worked across clean energy, infrastructure, media, and entrepreneurship. How has working in different fields help you identify new opportunities for innovation?
I would like to say that apart from these three domains that I work in, I also am actively building a community called 411 Founders Club, and that's where the actual innovative ideas come in, and he's also like a proud 411 member, like we just met on the stage. I would like to throw the question to the audience. How many of you use ChatGPT? Claude, Perplexity, majority of you guys. What is your favorite? Is it ChatGPT or what? Claude? Why do you like it so much? It makes your job easier. It gives you a partner, team member that you can innovate on, right? How many of you want to build something like Claude from India? I only see two. Pass on the mic, please. Over there. What's your good name?
Hello. Hi, I'm Aryan Rai.
Hi. So, my question is that would you like to build something like Claude from India, and what's the problem that's stopping you?
I'm already working I'm already working on an AI software.
Can you tell about that?
It's an AI browser. So I hope you have heard about Comet, right?
Yes.
The Comet browser. So we are building a AI-powered browser with a AI-first technologies. So suppose Comet, like they label it as an AI browser, but the thing is, the AI only works when the user gives it a prompt. Other than that, it works just like a normal browser.
Correct.
So what we are building is, it shouldn't be like the user has to give a prompt for the AI to work every time.
Okay.
So we are implementing AI features that work behind the screen without user giving it any task. Suppose the AI adapts to the user's daily tasks, habits.
Yeah.
It analyzes what user is interested in, what he daily does on the browser. So suppose I'll give you an example. Like if I open my email, so I'll probably find around 200 unread emails right now.
Okay.
So for me to analyze what's important for me and open and read each one of them, it's very time consuming for me. So what it does is the AI already knows what I do, right? So it updates me on those emails that are important according to what I do daily. Yeah.
That's amazing. And what's the problem that you're facing? Like if you want to scale it across India, do you look at more of R&D research, or do you want more funding opportunities, or what?
Yeah, it's more of like a funding, because currently we don't have our own LLM. So we are dependent on like a lot of LLM models out there, and most of them are like the Claude, OpenAI, Gemini. So the main thing is the token cost that we face. So we are in touch with like some funding companies out. But I think the main problem is most of the companies out there are mostly Western based. So there are very less AI companies out there from India that are known globally. So when someone talks about AI, the one thing that comes up in the mind is it's probably based in the US.
Yeah.
So the mentality thing is the main thing.
Thank you for the answer. Please clap for him. It's interesting to see at this age, she is moderating, you are taking initiatives, you are looking at developing something, but what the true innovation and what building in India truly means for me is, if you look at the current status of what's going to happen across the world, there are 500 million young people who are going to get into the workforce. and we have to create 600 million plus jobs to make sure that we have enough for everyone to suffice in an ecosystem. The current problem that I look at for innovation at the moment in India is the flywheel effect. If you've seen the Silicon Valley, the moment you pass out of any college, you have instant funding that's available. There is an investor who's right at your disposal for that idea to just skyrocket. Perplexity or all of these ideas have come from there. What I would love to see while building 411 is that how can we create that ecosystem where the institutions, the startup ecosystem, the policy makers come together to support an idea like his to get the right kind of funding, the right kind of mentorship, the right kind of R&D research, and enough investment is done in this. I think all of you are extremely talented. To see all of you creating the next global innovation hub starting from India, and that's what true innovation means to me. The Gen Zs taking power and making sure that the next flywheel starts from India and it becomes the next Silicon Valley. And I think Pune being the hub for the top universities, I think there are 12 plus billionaires who've
guesswork, or like when you do it with your intuition, there's a chance that the trend you have designed might not be performing well in the industry, right? But once you do it with data, what happens is it is more I would say, right? And when it comes to the market, we could see that the chances that the fashion doesn't work out is reduced maybe at least like 40 to 50%. That is a big change out there. And one factor there is, so when these trends doesn't work out, they go to, a major portion of these clothes go to the landfills, right? When you do the right decision, when it works out, that reduces. So the waste also reduces. So these are like advantages I would say like AI is doing on the fashion. Able to right in front of us we are able to see or like observe. Yep.
Yeah, I think to add more to this, what he explained is of a business side of it, right? But AI is also influencing consumer side. So some of our brands, they are using AI, to help people understand how the cloth would fit on their own image, right? Or their own videos, right? Same for watches. So yeah, AI is, I'd say, influencing consumer side as well, making it better and helping fashion overall on consumer end as well.
That was insightful, sir, actually. Sir, my next question is to Dheeraj, sir. Sir, actually, sorted solves a very specific problem for students and professionals who are moving abroad. Sir, was there a specific moment where a user feedback forced you to rethink your original idea? And what did that exact moment teach you about innovation in specific?
Yeah, there have been quite a few moments like that. For innovation, I think feedback is one of the most important steps. So we try to gather feedback from our team, our customers, majority of like stakeholders, and implement it to in our services, in our products, or what we deliver to these brands. The moment I would say, like I'll give you one recent example, right? So last year, so how many of you know like what is Black Friday, Cyber Monday? So in US, Black Friday, Cyber Monday is like the biggest sale, right? So being like, or being hundreds of D2C or e-commerce brand, that's the biggest or the busiest time for me or my team, basically. And we have to run new campaigns, new automations, like really in short period of time at very large scale, right? So until last year, like what we used to do is all the switching or like turning on the campaigns or like switching those campaigns off, because it's a period of 4 days or 5 days when those campaigns would run, right? And think about like 100 brands. We sent 40 million emails in those 4 days last year alone. So there is a big chance like we made mistakes. Before last year, it was all, I would say, humanized, or like there were like more and more human inputs. But last year we decided like, to change our like approach on how we deliver that service, or how we manage Black Fridays and Cyber Mondays at our end, right? So of course, using AI and automation tools that were coming up, that's something like we implemented, and results were amazing. The job that would take 10 people or like 12 people, now it could be done with just 2 people, right? So that's what I would say one of the recent examples. Innovation has helped, or the feedback was from the client or from our team was these kind of tasks are repetitive, but they take very long time. They need a lot of QA, and we need to make sure, like, since it's going to large audience, it needs to be on point, it needs to be working. So there has to be a lot of testing, and now all of that is gone. Like, AI can do it, and that's how like we implement feedback and use AI to achieve that scale.
Got it, sir. Got it.
Now, a final question for all the panelists on the dais. As we look toward the next 5 years of innovation, what opportunities do you see ahead, and what advice would you give to all of the students present here? You can start.
So, I am a big believer. I read a book written by Morgan Housel. The book name is Same as Ever. So what he proposes is that instead of studying what are the changes happening, you should also pay attention to what are the things which will never change. Currently with AI, it is very difficult to see what things are going to happen in 2 years, in 5 years. 5 years is still a long horizon. So people come up with a product in market, and within a week, OpenAI or Claude makes it their inherent feature and takes out the market which was created by this product. So things are very uncertain. So during these times, it is very important to believe and study what are the things will never change. And what I believe is understanding the problem which is faced by the users. The earlier panel member gave the example where they built the toilets for women, and the solution was building toilets, but problem was they were missing the community aspect of it as well, and so it was being not used. So understanding the problem and coming up with the solution which will address the real problem, not the surface level one. It's something which will never change. AI will help you build things faster, within a day, within a week. But what you should be building, what features should go in your product, that is the judgment which will never change.
I'll just say two things based on my experience. If you have an idea and if you have good mentors you can ask questions to, execution is everything. You'll either fail at 20 or you will succeed at 20. So stop thinking too much about it. Just give it a try, and you have such good facilities like these colleges where you can experiment. So start doing that. The second thing, don't take yourself too seriously, because we are at the age of experimentation. I had the opportunity to have a one-on-one chat with Nikhil Kamath at World Economic Forum. I asked him, what is your end goal? A person at that stage who has achieved so much in life, he said, I'm still figuring out my goal. So if he can still figure out his end goal, just don't take yourself seriously, just go jump at it and execute. That's the only thing that's going to help you understand whether you're failing. If you're failing, you're going to get an experience that is going to help you build a better product. And just try to create something out of Pune, because we are a pool of talented young Gen Zs. Just go ahead and do it.
Yeah, for the next 5 years, I think India is already doing a great job in low-cost innovation, be it UPI or like any tech at very large scale. I would suggest if I was like getting out of college right now, like I would focus on AI, because AI is, I think it's one of the best things that happen to humans. And it's going to disrupt all the industries, be it education, be it tech. It is already disrupting, but it's going to change all the processes that we do, all the systems that we have. So there is huge opportunity. So just start thinking, start solving the real problems, because innovations only matter if it solves a real or genuine problem and people are willing to pay for it, or it's better for like humanity, right? So yeah, keep your eyes open, be flexible, and don't take yourself seriously. Just think about a problem and just go in and just think how you can solve it. And lucky for us, like we now have AI at our fingertips. We can do all the research and we can have all the tools that, you know, these bigger companies or like bigger organizations have it. So yeah, all the best.
To add to that, I would say we are living in a very interesting time when this AI technology is rising, and then so much of change is happening in the world. The major revolution AI has brought in is on research and development, the way you learn. Right. Earlier, you will have to, if you want to learn something new, you will have to spend hours referring to books, you will have to watch videos. you will have to surf internet. But right now, you don't have to do that. You have a question, you have somebody, you have a ChatGPT out there who can answer right in front of you. It's like having a personal assistant which is there with you 24/7 to help you out, learn and build things. So opportunity is it is much easier to develop things these days. It's much easier to iterate. It's much easier to prototype. And coding and software development has completely changed these days. Like if you have an idea, if you want to build a bot, if you want to build a website, web application, it is much easier these days. We have vibe coding and all those things. So what I would say, what I would like to tell you is that you should be focusing on respective domain. You should be building deeper skills. Right. The next big thing in the world would be a multidisciplinary thing. It would not be just software alone. It would be like medtech and AI or something like that. Right. So build disciplinary skills, build deeper understanding of your domain, and that is gonna pay off in the coming years, I would say.
Thank you so much to the panel. This has been such an enriching discussion, honestly. If there is one thread that ran through everything today, it's the idea that the idea is just the starting line. Innovation happens in the follow-through, the systems, the technology, and the sheer persistence to keep things going when even the things get hard.
Once again, a huge thank you to all our panelists for their valuable time and their meaningful insights today. That brings us to the end of our panel discussion. Thank you, everyone. A huge round of applause for all our panelists.
We now request the panelists and moderators to remain briefly for a group photograph. Can we have a big round of applause? Today's discussion wasn't just about ideas, it was about leadership through innovation. As we wrap up, it's clear that innovation is not just an option, it's a necessity. Because as Steve Jobs rightly said, innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. So the real question is, which one will you choose to be? Today's discussion reminds us that innovation is not accidental. It is intentional, driven by vision, courage, and action. That brings us to the conclusion of a highly engaging and insightful discussion on innovation. The perspectives shared today have emphasized that innovation is not merely about generating ideas, but about translating those ideas into practical, impactful solutions. Our distinguished panelists have highlighted the importance of adaptability, creativity, and execution in navigating an ever-evolving world.
The insights clearly show that the innovation acts as a bridge between knowledge and real-world application, helping drive progress across industries and communities. As we conclude this session, let us carry forward the mindset of not only thinking differently, but also acting with clear purpose and intent. I would like to sincerely thank you, our esteemed panelists, for sharing their valuable experiences with us today. As we approach the conclusion of today's program, we take a moment to contribute that have shaped this morning's sessions. The discussions on research and innovation have offered valuable perspectives, and they enforce the purpose of RIDE.
as a platform for thoughtful inquiry and practical.
To formally bring the proceedings to a close, we now invite our student advisor of RITE 2026, Tahir Hussain, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. As we conclude day one of RITE 26, on the behalf of entire RITE 26 organizing team, I would extend the gratitude to our revered Professor Dr. Vishwanath Karat sir, whose visionary leadership continues to inspire generations of innovators and entrepreneurs. We sincerely thank our Executive President Dr. Rahul Karat sir for his constant encouragement and unwavering support towards fostering entrepreneurship and innovation among students. Our heartfelt appreciation goes to our convener Dr. Vinod Shastri sir for his exceptional guidance and leadership throughout the planning and execution of RITE 26. We also extend our sincere heartfelt gratitude to our co-conveners Dr. Deepak Prashar sir and co-convener Dr. Dipali Javle ma'am for their continuous support. We extend our sincere appreciation towards all our deans, associate deans, program directors, division coordinators and department spokes and every faculty members for their invaluable guidance and encouragement. A special thank to the IT team under the leadership of Pankaj sir for ensuring the seamless technical execution of our event. Our appreciation goes to the media team under the guidance of Deepak sir for beautifully capturing and memorable moments and hospitality team for taking excellent care of our guests. Finally, a heartfelt thank you to all our staff members, student volunteers, mentors, judges, speakers, participants and everyone who worked tirelessly behind the scenes. Your dedication, teamwork and enthusiasm made day one of RITE 26 a grand success. Thank you once again for being the part of RITE 26. Thank you.
Everyone can depart for lunch, but sharply be present in their classroom sessions by 1 p.m.
I want to do a small under 411 founder community. Like I want 5 startups who can come speak to me about their startup idea. I want to feature them in one of my content that we do. So if you can come and meet me, that'll be fab.
Everyone are requested to depart for lunch accordingly and be in their classrooms for 1 p.m. sessions.
After lunch, everybody go to your respective number 1.
This is the 4th edition.
I repeat, after lunch, everybody is supposed to go to their respective classroom for research bootcamp number 1. Thank you.
The entrepreneurial mindset is the next prediction, how the new workspace would be. Whether you work for a startup or a corporation, you need to think like an entrepreneur, spotting opportunities, taking calculated risks, owning the outcomes.
Thank you.
Advanced or super specialization does not have much of value in the era of ChatGPT and AI. In AI world, what you need is a range. You should be able to talk about a whole host of topics, talk about a whole host of dimensions and not be very exclusive or being very, very specific. That's extremely critical for all of you.
But let me tell you, the world will change faster in the next 20 years. I don't think you will be able to foresee today how the world will change in the next 20-25 years. With the amount of information that is getting shared around the world.
Which obviously for me it's like a code for let's do it smart, let's do it well, let's do it innovative.
And post-RITE,